Does your dash look like this? Hey y'all, we're Jimmy and Lisa with FindUsCamping, and yes, our dash looked like that for a very, very long time.
Sometimes it even looks worse than that. So we've joined forces with Bullet Point Mounting Solutions, and they have sent us some pieces and parts. Adapters, all kinds of cool stuff. So today we're gonna see just how easy it is to install their system, get it mounted, and just how much more efficient it's gonna make our travel days.
And then at the end, we're gonna take a ride around and see if
it's as sturdy as they say it is.
Because right now, my phone over here drops every time we hit a bump. Sometimes the GoPro falls off the windshield, so...
And Bullet Point is not supposed to do that. So, let's get started, tearing it apart, reinstalling, and then take it for a test drive. So, before we get started, the long-term goal is to get this camera mounted up a little higher so we can see it. Get Jimmy's cell phone out of the window over there. Get this tablet from down here to up here so we can see it better because we use this to navigate. And possibly get the tire pressure monitor hooked up, but this is old and the mount on it is broken, so it may not fit into play yet. We're looking at getting a new one, so eventually it will mount up as well. But that's the goal, and just to get you started, take the camera down, and the way it works is this mat comes out, there's some screws to hook in there, and this piece will eventually mount to the dash. It secures to it so that all your brackets can be attached here, and then they will come forward. So that's the goal. I'm not sure, but we're gonna see. So when you order from Bullet Point, you are gonna order specifically for your vehicle. So the one they sent us is for a 2021 Chevy Silverado 3500, which is what we have. However, read all of your instructions first, because there are two different types of dashes based on whether you have like the heads-up display. We do have the heads-up display, so we have a little tray that we can remove from our dash. But if you don't, your dash could be like on all one piece, and the installation instructions are different. So be sure before you get started that you read all of the enclosed directions. Step one is going to be to remove the rubber mat and lay it aside. You're really going to lay it aside permanently. If you plan to sell your vehicle in the future and you want to cover the holes that we're going to drill, you'll want to save this somewhere so that you can drop it back in, and any holes we drill will be covered. If you don't care and you're going to keep your vehicle forever, you can throw this away. So that's up to you. Step two is going to be to remove the top portion of the ruby grid so that we can get to the holes that we'll need to reach to mount it. Step three is to sit this in here and mark where you need to drill holes. But since we have the dash where we can remove this piece, we're going to go ahead and skip to step four so we can do it on a workbench and it'll be a lot easier. Step four is to remove the tray. To do that, we're going to use a 9/32 socket to remove this bolt right here. Save the bolt, you'll need it later. And then you're going to use this, not sure what it was called, but the little tool that came with it to pop this out. There are 4 mounts underneath this that secure it to the dash. So once you get one corner pried up and get your hands under there and pop it loose, the other 3 will come out. So now we're going to go back to step 3. We're going to take the tray and this, put it together. We're going to go to a bench, or in our case, a picnic table, and mark and drill the holes. So now that we've kind of gotten a little out of order because we could take our tray out, the next step is going to be to place the tray or the bracket into the tray and mark the holes to be drilled, but it's kind of hard to mark on black So I'm using this green pencil I had to mark them all. And then I'm gonna let Jimmy drill holes with the drill bit that came included in the kit. So now we're going to use the 6 nuts and bolts that came with it to attach the mounting bracket to the tray before we put it back in the truck. The notes say to be careful that the screws go in here, the washer and the nut go on the bottom. And then we'll tighten them with the wrench that came with it once we get them all in. Back in. Now we just got to put the bolt back in and we can get busy mounting everything. The next step is to dry fit it, and you're supposed to sit this up here and see where you want everything. I'm going to just drop a couple screws partially in to hold it in place so that we can make sure everything is where we want it to be. Okay, so I just want to go over the components really quickly. I know we said we're putting this top piece on and we're going to dry fit it. I want to kind of explain what that means and what all the pieces and parts are that you can get. So this is a mount for a phone, and I think you have options for what size your phone is. So even, it just slides like this. So even with Jimmy's big OtterBox case on it, his phone still fits in the clamp. Everything has this ball mount on the back of it. And then they sell different size, different length arms. So this is one option. The one on our tablet mount is a little bit longer. They make shorter ones. So you're gonna wanna kind of have an idea of where you want your things mounted when you order pieces and parts to make sure you do it correctly. And then lastly, this is the little, yikes. This is the little ball that mounts on your track. So for instance, if you think this is where you want it, you notice where the holes are. You're gonna put the clamp on here, and they sell a tool to tighten these down really good, so we'll get to that later, but just kind of so you can see how it works. And then we would put the phone mount on the other side, tighten it down. I'm even going to put Jimmy's phone in here so that we can kind of see what we're doing. I'm going to guess that I want it in this slot, and then his phone will stick out here. That's going to be fine for him because he's not going to want to block his AC. But once we get it mounted in that bracket, we can kind of adjust the angles once it's in there. For my tablet, it's going to mount in that same area. Oh, and I might have tightened this up. I don't care that my tablet will block my AC vent because I'm always cold. So that's the difference in mine and his. And it's going to depend on your configuration, how your vehicle's set up. But you can mount in any of these brackets across the top, wherever you want things for them to sit and block your AC or not, block your, your control system here or not. I did check, and my Easy Tire, bless its heart, is so old that the mounts on it, actually on the back of it, one of them's broken already, so I can't make it work with this because of that. So hopefully the new one, it'll fit. And Bullet Point does have a ton of different adapters, so if you have a navigation system or something that you want to set up here, just look at what the bracket looks like on the back of that. I know I said earlier Haloview. Haloview has one big one, but it's not just the quick T, it's a long T, and they don't have a bracket for it. What I did, since we would not be using ours because they wanted you to stick it to the windshield or stick it to your dash, and I'm not going to do that, I sent my bracket to Bullet Point so that they can use it to maybe come up with a mount for the system. But in the meantime, since the mount that comes with the Haloview has these holes in the bottom, we are going to use screws to attach it wherever we figure that it needs to go here. and then it'll be permanently attached, and then we can adjust it here. So that'll still be a better solution than what we've got now. They do offer, I don't know if you can see the GoPro hanging up here. They do offer brackets for that as well. So you would start again with the little ball that mounts it here, and then there would be an adapter that hooks onto the ball with the GoPro mount. So you could even put your GoPro up here facing forward. Yeah, facing forward if you're trying to record where you're going. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, tighten things up now that we kind of have an idea where they're gonna go, get them mounted, and then we'll show you the completed project. So we have dry fitted all the pieces. The phone mount will go here, the tablet here, the Haloview here, and I do have one more of these, but I don't have the bracket. I should have ordered it and I didn't for the GoPro, but for future, I can add the GoPro bracket here if we want to record going forward. And perhaps the tire monitor system, if we ever get that figured out, we may just slide this over, just take it down and slide it over and put it over here. But there's going to be room to get everything on here, so I'm going to go ahead and attach all of these to this, and then we'll go back to the truck and attach the devices to the other end and see the finished product. So my Haloview did come with screws to mount this, but they're silver. So I'm gonna swipe a couple of the extra black ones that I have, and I'll replace them with black ones later because I don't want it to look ugly. It did come with this little wrench, so you can use this little wrench to tighten all the nuts. But to save a little time, Jimmy was nice and got me a socket, so we're gonna use this today just to speed the process. Everything's nice and secure. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these on, and then once we get into the, well, I guess I'll tighten these, put these on loosely, and then get the attachments, but just tight enough to hold them in place. And then when we get in the truck, we'll get them where we need them and tighten everything down. So now that we have everything dry fitted and put together, the almost last step is we're gonna put it on here and secure it with these little bitty screws. So I'm hoping if I get a couple of them lined up, the rest of them will fall into place. Apparently, once you get two of them lined up, the rest of them all fall right into place. Except for that one doesn't want to go. So I'd say that's pretty secure.
A whole lot better than what I had.
Yes. So now we're gonna put the Haloview back up. I might need help. So the tablet, let me talk quickly about the tablet. So the tablet can either go in here like this. Okay. This can be used multiple ways. So it can be used for a phone. You can extend this and then it still has an extension, and you can slide these out. So tablet goes in, cell phones go in. So this is kind of a multi-purpose, and based on the size of tablet you have, you know, you could also adapt it to fit whatever you want. So I need to get that done, and Jimmy's phone is as easy as that. And let's see. I don't know. We'll probably have to play with it till he gets it where he wants it exactly when he's driving. But once you get those tightened, there's a little F tool that you tighten these with. You can do it like this. I can't see it. So that's it. You just hook that in and tighten it. And with the tablet, I'll just have to play with this and figure out how I want it, how it's going to work best for me. But then I can put it over here. I think it's going to go this way. And I'll probably drop it down. Maybe make these wider. Bring this in a little bit. And I'll drop it down like that. So that's where I need it. I don't know. Once we get to driving, we'll see. But everything seems nice and secure. Again, because everything has the little rods and the little connectors, I feel like once we get our tire monitor system, I'll still be able to put one in this little voided spot back here, even if, or maybe over here on Jimmy's side, even if we need to like extend it, bring it forward or up, we can do that with the little rods. So I am excited about that. But I'm also excited, it's still a mess right now because all my stuff, but the tablet won't need to sit here anymore. And Jimmy can take that crazy supposed to charge your phone while it's mounted thing down and get that cord that's running all over here taken down. So we're looking forward to it. And I think it's going to be really good. What do you think? So we got the bullet point mounting system installed and all the little pieces hooked up.
That was a lot of work for me.
It was so easy, y'all, and it is so secure. I'm going to say I was excited about getting it because I'd heard good things, but I was still a little nervous that it wouldn't be as great as we thought, and it is as great as we thought. So in our travels today, we're going to go across this drawbridge, which tends to be one of the bumpier routes we take when we're in this area, and hopefully this will show you all
Here comes the first big bump right here.
Is, and if anything moves.
Hit the drawbridge right now, which is usually pretty smooth, but getting to it. Somebody can't hold a camera still.
I'm holding it still as I can.
Trying to hit all the bumps, which I don't normally do.
So after a little over 100 miles across the drawbridge and back and down some bumpy roads in and out of the campground, what do you think?
Well, I know that my old phone charger thing that sat up here, my own mount, every time I hit that bridge, I was always putting it back up, even as tight as I could possibly get it, it still fell. Here, I didn't see anything fall at all. Nothing even moved, so.
And I have everything mounted. Tried to get some footage. I don't know that it came out real clear because it's hard to get into where it is, but I have everything mounted like this far from the dash. My concern was today that things would bounce and then bounce into the dash and I would have to readjust, but nothing touched the dash.
Nothing. So our final review on this is, I think we're going to get some more pieces and parts to add more things up there. So
for sure.
I think it's a win-win. We have talked to a lot of other people that have them, and everybody's loving them. So if you don't have them for your truck now, I think you need to get some.
look into it.
So we are at the end of our video here, and I'm driving, so I'm gonna let her take the ending.
Until the next time you find us camping or testing out a new piece of equipment. Safe travels, y'all.